Hello everyone, we're back, and before we get to seeing how to actually use conditions and combine them and everything, I think I'll review the syntax of the control structures very briefly. This is in your book. I'm not going to repeat what's in the book. I'm just going to point out some things. First of all, the general syntax of an if statement is this if condition right here with the parentheses, and inside the parentheses is a condition. That's what we're going to spend most of our time today talking about. A condition is an expression which evaluates to a Boolean value. For an if statement, if this condition evaluates to true, we will execute that true path. This else clause here is optional. If it's present, and the condition up here on the if evaluates to false, this false path will be executed. If the else clause is present, and it's optional, but if it's there, either the true path or the false path will be executed, never both. That's because the condition up here on this if statement has got to be true or false. It can't be anything else. If it's true, we do this. If it's false, we do that. If there is no else clause here, and this condition is false, we skip the true path and keep going. Don't do anything related to this condition. The while loop has while and a parenthesis and an ending parentheses here, and inside the parentheses is a condition. The rules and everything about these conditions on a while loop are exactly like those conditions on the if statement. There's no difference at all. If this condition is true, we will execute this loop body one time. After we execute this loop body one time, we will go back up and reevaluate our condition. If it's true, we will execute the loop body one time and go back up and reevaluate the condition. And if it's true again, we will execute the loop body one time and go back up and reevaluate the condition. If the condition is ever false, we skip the loop body and keep going to the next statement. So these control structures can also be nested. I can have a while statement, a while loop inside an if statement. I can have an if statement inside the loop body. I can have a while loop with a nested if statement inside the true path or the false path. I can have an if statement with a nested while loop or nested while loops inside this loop body here. The only rule is the nesting must be perfect. I can't have things that are sort of not that are sort of overlapping but not completely. They have to be like little Russian dolls. The inner one fits completely inside the outer one. Now this true path and the false path and this loop body are one single statement. One statement as in I is equal to 5. Okay? If we need more than one statement, we need to use a statement block, which are open and close curly brace. I can put as many statements as I want inside that statement block, but if I want more than one statement, I have to use a statement block. Stylistically, it is never bad style to use a statement block. In fact, it'll get you out of a lot of errors. A common error in writing these constructs, these control statements, is putting a semicolon directly after a condition, either for a while, either for the if statement up here or for the while down there. Reason being, Java is quite happy to give you empty statements. I can have just a bunch of semicolons anywhere pretty much at the end of any statement, or maybe my main is nothing but open curly brace, bunch of semicolons, close curly brace. Java's quite happy with that. But of course, those statements don't do anything. So if you put a semicolon here or here right after your condition, Java takes your true path or loop body to be an empty statement, and your program is not going to execute like you want. Another common bug is either in this condition or more commonly in this loop body, you've got to do something which is eventually going to force this condition to switch to false. Reason being, if that condition is true to begin with, and neither the condition nor the loop body changes it to false, you will have an infinite loop, and that's probably not what you want. Because the most important thing about writing a loop is stopping it. Okay, so that's going to be enough for a quick syntactic review. Again, read the book, and when we come back, we'll start playing in Eclipse and write some code to look at conditions and how we put logical and relational operators together.